All right, everybody, welcome to Week's End. We hope you're enjoying your weekend. We have a special Sunday stream.
The
Week's End House Band. Thank you to the Week's End House Band.
Thanks, Ian. That was awesome, man.
We'll see you soon. Woo! All right. Awesome. Hey, welcome to Week's End. Graeme, Noseworthy. I'm Ryan Boyles. And it's good to see everybody on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, great to see you. I know we normally broadcast on a Friday, but we had so much going on. We've had a very exciting weekend. Lots to do, lots to talk about. But hey, here we are. We're excited to be with you.
Here we are. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk rock and roll. I think we're going to talk about some movie stuff.
We are going to talk movie stuff.
So we know that the way we see movies has changed, and there's so many movies right now that are coming out on demand, digitally. They're coming into your home theater. And one of the movies that we are most excited about, I guess that you have been most excited about, let's put it that way, are the folks on your T-shirt. So tell us about this.
So Bill and Ted, if you don't know who Bill and Ted are, you gotta stop watching us and go watch this movie. So
let's say I gotta admit something to you, Graeme.
What do you got to admit?
I don't admit.
Let me into this.
I might have to give in my friend card here, but I have never seen Bill and Ted.
Oh no. Okay, well let me help you out with that. So Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, absolutely fantastic film. Came out many years ago in the 80s. About two good friends who end up saving the world by traveling through time. And then they did another one, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, came out a few years later. Lots of fun. But then this year,
many
decades later,
right.
Ed Solomon, Chris Matheson, the writers reunited. They brought back Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as Bill and Ted, and they made a new film, Bill and Ted Face the Music.
They're making cinematic history again, I guess, right?
It was a journey, let me tell you. And it was great to spend an hour and a half with my old friends, Bill and Ted again. So,
well, will you indulge me here? I want to ask you some questions as a Bill and Ted time travel neophyte.
Aficionado? Sure.
You're an aficionado. I am very much clueless. I come from the Wayne and Garth era of buddy film. So let me ask you this. First, who are Bill and Ted? Tell me about them. Who are they?
Sure. So Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan are two boys from San Dimas High School. And they are, I guess you could say they are aspiring, want to be musicians. So they love rock and roll. They want to be musicians. They want to form a band called Wild Stallions. Which is WWII.
But they spell it funny like they did in the 80s, like Styx and all those bands, right?
Yeah, WWILD, Wild
As
Stallions.
you do.
As one does. And it turns out that these guys in the future write a song that unites the world and saves the universe. Sounds like a bizarro plot point, right? But in the first movie, which I can't even fathom how many times I've seen it, these guys go on a journey through time and they get a bunch of people, Billy the Kid and Socrates, and Joan of Arc and Genghis Khan and Abraham Lincoln and who am I leaving out here? It's almost coming to me.
This is sounding like kind of like a night at the museum kind of thing, except in the 80s.
Beethoven, actually, and so they end up doing a final report, a history report. And they don't show them write the song that unites the universe. You don't see that in the first one. They talk a little bit about it in Bogus Journey. Bogus Journey, they actually die and go to hell and meet Death, who is a fantastic character. And then in Face the Music, it all starts to come together. Their daughters, which was great to see, Billy and Theodora, they come out and, I don't want to ruin it.
All right, well, hang
See the
on for a
movie.
second. I want to ask you something though. So
Okay.
I kept and Ian, the lead, guitarist in the Weeks in House band. He was asking me. He was like, "So is this like did they like rip off Wayne and Garth?" And I'm like, "No, this is like before Wayne and Garth, right?" So tell me,
I think it's
how are they?
before.
How do you think they're different from Wayne and Garth? Because they were aspiring musicians as well.
Yeah,
they have a bit of a thing with a car that travels, and they do the Scooby Doo thing, kind of. But
yeah,
tell me why Bill and Ted are better.
Well, I'm not so sure they're better. I'm not even so sure they're different. It's two good friends who love music and believe in, happiness and love and being good friends. I mean, it's just it's good stuff, man. I mean, it's not one ripped off the other. I mean, they're totally different.
No. I get it. Okay. Well, tell me this.
Bill and Ted's better. But
sure, time travel though, and
I mean, I'm just saying.
Tell me. So they travel through time apparently in a phone booth. Is that right?
They do. So they travel through time in a phone booth. They access what's called the circuits of time. Now, I have like a whole subset theory to this. That there's a whole thing to the circuits of time, and so I have two active theories. There's one that would be a prequel to the first Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where you find out that traveling through time is actually a very common thing, and a lot of the people they brought back are actually good friends because they kind of show a friendship between Billy the Kid and Socrates. And I have this theory that those two had already traveled through time together. They actually show a yellow pages of the circuits of time, and you dial in where you want to go, right? So my theory is that they've always been traveling through time, but I have another theory, and my other theory is that the Bill and Ted universe is actually and this latest movie even proved it more. The Bill and Ted universe is actually an early version of the Matrix.
What?
And Ted is actually an early version of Neo, and that's why they needed to save the world and all that business.
Whoa.
And Bill S. Preston Esquire is like an early version of, well, I guess he would be an early version of
the one,
maybe Trinity, and then. I mean, why not?
Well, they said that in the Matrix,
Rufus from the first movie would be an early version of Morpheus because he believed that Ted was the one that Bill and Ted. Now, it's not Ted. It's not a movie. Keanu's character is not above. They are equals throughout the movie. My theory is that in the second Matrix film, we discovered that there had been previous versions of the Matrix, and the architect tells us that there had been many versions. And some of them were too good and they didn't work. They weren't convincing. Humans didn't buy it.
Too happy. They were having too much fun.
Dude, pick a Keanu Reeves movie. Speed, Matrix. John Wick, Matrix. They're all previous versions of the Matrix. So I actually think that there's a Keanu Reeves cinematic universe. And I'm getting carried away now. It's all the Matrix.
I don't know. You've piqued my curiosity. You had my attention, but what's that?
Look, I think you and I both know. I think you and I both know that the writers of Bill and Ted are clearly watching this video series.
Sure.
And what we want to say to you, Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson, is that we're here to help.
Bill and Ted,
if you would like to do this prequel series, I'm just saying, man, we're willing to have you on the show and we can talk about it. And you can take our ideas and run with it. Because
there were 7 iterations of the Matrix, right? And this is starting to make a lot of sense to me.
But here's where it gets really crazy. All right, I'm going to lean in because this is a bit of a secret. So in the first movie, we find out in the first Bill and Ted, we find out that if Ted doesn't get his act together, his father is going to send him to military academy. He's going to send him to Oates Military Academy in Alaska. So my theory is that Ted goes to Oates Military Academy, and when that Matrix fails and the new one starts, his military training, John fucking Wick. That's how it works, baby.
Okay.
So
all right, I've got
transition.
I think we need to add one more thing in here. We're talking about 7 iterations of the Matrix, right?
Okay.
We're talking about the similarities between Bill and Ted and his buddies, and Neo and Trinity and their buddies.
Yeah, I mean, not Trinity, but I don't know. Whoever.
I'm just going to throw this in here. I think Wayne and Garth could be a part of the same. They were an iteration, because think about the sequel to Wayne's World, the shaman.
Oh yeah.
You had you had some funny business going on there that can't be explained any other way than a simulation.
So what if there was a Bill and Ted and Wayne and Garth crossover?
Yes.
Now wait a minute. If Bill and Ted and Wayne and Garth, what about Ryan and Graham?
Hey,
are we in the Matrix?
I mean, it's plausible.
I think we're in the Matrix.
I think it's likely.
I think it's distinctly possible. Anyway, man, I love the whole. I love.
Thanks, everybody. That's the show tonight. We'll see you soon. All right. Things are getting really deep, and I think we should, we should add a bit of levity. So I do want to give another shameless plug. Everyone should go see Bill and Ted's.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Face the Music, which is hashtag Bill and Ted 3. If you're looking for clues to our theories online, you want to do that, of course.
If you enjoy Bill and Ted, you'll have fun with this movie.
I think it sounds like you're going to enjoy it no matter what, because a lot of imagination, a lot of fun, a lot of positivity, and that's something we need right now.
Well, let me tell you what it's not. It's not a dumpster fire.
Oh, really?
It's not a dumpster fire. Look at this, Ryan. I got to transition to this because, first of all, it matches the color we got going on down there. This is my 100 Soft 2020 Special Edition dumpster fire, which this thing, I have wanted this for so long. It's such a bizarre thing as a 45-year-old man to want a little smiling dumpster, but 2020 just sucks. Yeah. And I actually wanted to get one of these in 2019 when I first learned about them because I wanted to put it on my desk at work, and every time somebody was giving me crap, I was just going to point to the dumpster fire. But then 100 Soft made a dumpster and look, it comes with a little face.
Well, this is the new limited edition that is ready for COVID and 2020. So
I don't know, man.
What's not to like here?
So this, just so you know, Ryan, whenever we're in virtual meetings together at work,
it's just gonna be like over your shoulders over here.
Always like it's right there, dude. So now you know when we're in a meeting and it goes south. If I'm going like this,
that's like the signal.
I'm going like this.
That's
I'm pointing at the dumpster fire.
That's the signal. Okay, I have a signal for you, Graham.
Get yourself a dumpster fire for 100 Soft, folks.
I have a signal for you that I'm gonna say is my signal, and we talked about, and I was very gracious with all the love we got on the last episode for my birthday, but I just wanted to show something that happened, which is,
oh my God,
the child came to visit in piñata form.
Oh my God! Is that a legit piñata?
It is legit, and
but you got to come see this. You got to come. Hold on, he wants to see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have to say something though. My kids were the ones that found this. My wife went into a side bet when they presented it for me to break open and find, the awesome goodies that were in it. They had a side bet going to see if I would actually harm the child. And they were they were egging me on. They handed me Kylo Ren's lightsaber. They had it all planned out.
That's awesome.
And so, what do you think happened? I mean, I put it out to the people on the Twitters, to ask the question, and most people didn't think I had it in me, and they were right, because what we did was,
you couldn't hurt the child. No way.
Well, the child showed me a couple of secret compartments. One was he jumped out, and there's one right there. And then, of course, the one on the back here popped right open.
So I'm confused. Did they buy this, or did somebody make that?
They bought it.
Dude, that thing is
it's legit. Yeah, really legit.
That's awesome.
It was full of Skittles and Reese cups and airplane bottles. So everything you need.
By the way, your rocket-powered roller skates are in the mail.
Thank you.
I want you to know that they're on their way to you. That's true.
As long as I get them before November 3rd, I think we're good, right?
That's right. Yeah, because the whole world is going to end. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, dude.
All right. So
that was really cute.
I love it. And you know what?
Ryan.
I know.
It's your birthday.
I know.
What's next? What are we going to next?
It's so silly. All right, what's next? Let's see what we got here. You know what? I know something else that you're excited about, and I'm excited about. We wanted to talk about. Let me put it up on the screen here.
Oh, I bet I know where you're going with this.
Hang on.
All right, I'll wait. I'll be patient.
Here we go.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum bum bum. Oh my God, it's Dune. Oh
It's
my
Dune. So
God.
this is
Okay,
people's
hey dude, can you scroll
interpretation.
past that condom?
Yeah, sure.
Because you got some nasty comments going on there. We
Okay,
probably
okay.
shouldn't show that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just show this then.
There we go. That's probably better.
This is probably better. You're right.
A hole is
But
a
what do you
hole.
have to say about this trailer?
Okay, so I read the book when I was younger. I'm a huge fan of this of the David Lynch film. I know a lot of people aren't, but I really am, and I think this is a beautiful blend of the book, David Lynch, Jodorowsky's vision of what Dune should be, and I think this just looks spectacular. It appears to be very accurate to the, canon of the book and all that. I mean, even down to the way his bed is constructed and all that with the fish on it. But I just think it looks great. And Ryan, you and I are marketers. As I don't remember, because it's been so long, if it's a quote from the book, but the whole line of beyond fear, destiny awaits. Like, dude, we work our whole lives to create content like that and don't even ever come close.
Yeah.
So I think this looks beautiful. I think the treatment of the shields they're showing here is really cool. I'm really, really, really excited about this movie. I think it's going to be epic. It's 2 films, actually. It's not 1, but it's got a stellar cast. And here's another thing I learned about it that I really like. I learned that only 2 shots were filmed on a green screen, that the rest of it is all practical effects and shot in the environment. So if you're on a desert, you're in the desert. If you're on a, when they're on Caladan, they're near the ocean. When they're on Arrakis, they're in the desert, right? So
I like that part.
I like that too, that the way they described it is Denis Villeneuve wanted to make Star Wars for adults. And I think he's done it.
This is it. No, I think this is it.
Excited.
I will admit I didn't read the book, but I was completely enthralled with the previous interpretation.
The
for a lot of different reasons.
1984, I think.
It was super weird. It was super out there. It may not have done everything that the fans of the book wanted.
Remember the tooth.
But dude, it had some stuff that if you were coming out of Star Wars or coming out of Star Trek or coming out of anything else, you were just like, what? And you know what else that I'm excited about? It's just the fact that Dennis is the one doing it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because name a movie from the last 10 years that he's been, in charge of that, hasn't just been mind blowing. Right. Yeah. So I think him, I was really had a lot of fear. I had a lot of trepidation about him being in charge of Blade Runner when they did the reboot / sequel.
2049. Yep.
But it actually, I loved it. So, and that's one of my favorite films of all time. So I think he's going to do the right things here. And you know what? It kind of reminds, I think Dennis is like, I know Ridley Scott's still doing his thing and I want to talk about something he's doing right now, but Dennis reminds me so much of bringing that to the screen. The same kind of like love and care that, like you said, the thing that I'm enthralled about with Ridley Scott is that he started out as like an ad man, right? He came from the marketing world, didn't know anything about films, and then made Alien and like changed the world of cinematography and horror films and everything. And then you go on to things like Blade Runner and this, and it's just like, it's amazing to me.
I think it looks amazing. So Ryan, I bid you well.
Nice. So that's really great. So I wanted to talk about a TV show. Speaking of Ridley Scott, I don't know if you're watching this or not, but I've been binging it over the last few days, and it's a show on HBO Max.
Oh yes,
Raised by Wolves. Holy crap! I didn't know what it was in the first episode, but as soon as the first episode ended, I knew it was going to be really expansive and weird and psychological in a way that nobody was expecting. And now we're 5 episodes in, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah. I have been focused on 2 things: watching The Boys season 2 and I finally finished Cobra Kai season 2, which is a phenomenal show. Yeah. And The Boys, of course, season 2 is amazing. And then I watched, and if you haven't seen it yet, Ryan, this is your homework. You got to watch The Social Dilemma.
All right.
Social Dilemma. I insist you watch that as soon as possible.
Making a note
The here. Social Dilemma on Netflix.
Okay. Got it. All right, cool. So what else have you said? You mentioned The Boys. Let's talk about The Boys because we've been holding back on talking about that, but
Okay.
We were really excited for season 2, and boy, did it start out with a bang.
It sure did, and I really like where it's going. I think they've got some great new characters. Stormfront is a powerhouse of a character. I don't want to say too much because of spoilers. Yeah. I mean, I want to be very sensitive to that, but it's actually a little different from season 1. So it's not just kind of like the same stuff. It's gotten darker. Billy's character is different. Homelander is just.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of thought that they accomplished so much, and there was so much of the story that was fully fleshed out, and almost like, yes, it had a cliffhanger at the end of season 1, but it felt like they had like completed just this massive arc that was a big undertaking, and I really didn't know where they were going to go from there. So it's almost like the new season it's kind of slowed down the pace a little bit. But the action's still there. The surprises are still there.
The sets are incredible. The effects are great. The powers are believable. Yeah. You know what I mean. Yeah. The acting is great. The casting is great. I mean, it's just a really good show. So the only thing I'm a little frustrated with, to be honest with you, is Amazon Prime gave us 3 episodes the first Friday, and now it's just like 1 episode per Friday, and that's just a load of shit. I don't like that. Just either put it all out or give us 3 episodes a week, but don't waffle between the two. Like, why did they give us 3? Why didn't they just...
Well, it makes me wonder if they are it's almost like Amazon is trying to outdo HBO, and HBO is trying to stay as relevant as Amazon in a way, right? I feel like they're like in the series wars, right? Like they've got the hottest series when you look at it.
Dumpster fire, but it's fine.
It's a bit of a dumpster fire. But I agree with you, but I have the same frustration with...
I don't know. Am I just spoiled?
No. I mean, I'm saying...
Is that not a fair thing to feel? I don't really know.
The problem is there's so much, and I've said this before, the reason I haven't seen certain things is you do have to pick and choose, and there's so much content now that I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Actually, Ryan, there's not just so much. There's always been a ton of content. There's so much outstanding content.
Yeah.
Right? There's movies being released at home. There's fantastic... pick a streaming service. Pick one. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus. There's great content everywhere you look.
I'll take issue with Disney Plus. They're letting me down.
All right, that was a bad idea.
They've got 1 series and...
Okay, Mandalorian, but even that's coming back soon.
It is, and I'm excited.
Let's move on.
Let's move on, though. Okay, we have a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So you brought up a story about apparently there's some creepy robots.
Dude, click on these images. So here's my theory. These things need to be shot. Like this is not the kind, they just need to die. This is not the kind of thing. This does not look like a...
But what is this for?
It's an assistant robot. I don't...
For what, though? To creep out your daughter when she's like... I don't know. What is the purpose of this dog that...
Here's the deal, dude. I don't care. I don't care what it does. I don't care if it cures cancer. The thing looks like a goddamn nightmare, and it just needs to die. It's horrifying. And you can actually, if you look in the lower right corner, you can see that it literally looks like the thing that was shown in Black Mirror, in the episode of Black Mirror. Yeah, that thing down there. That's from an episode of Black Mirror. And it's like, if we're writing shows where these things are a horror story, why would you create something that literally almost looks like it in real life? I don't think it's...
That's cute. The question. Why? It's always been like this. It's always been kind of the aspiration for researchers and scientists to aspire to things like Star Trek. And we've talked, there's been a lot of debate about how, we're creating reality from science fiction, but this seems like the wrong direction to me. I'm with
the wrong direction. It's just, dude, I don't know. They're a nightmare. Let's move on. I'm gonna have nightmares now.
All right. Well,
anyway, Microsoft's bid for TikTok was just rejected. Breaking news. So,
oh really?
We have some interesting stuff to.
You know what? I don't care.
The news when we're done.
Care. I may be like, I know I'm Mr. Social Media, but TikTok is like, been there, done that.
I'm not out there TikToking with all them kids these days. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying we don't need to spend too much time on this. But I did want to mention, since we mentioned Star Trek, I wanted to mention that this week was Star Trek Day,
Yes.
And we
It was a lot
found
of
a
fun.
couple of we found a couple of interesting artifacts. Here was this was something that Leonard Nimoy wrote to the president, JFK at the time, asking for a safer planet. And little did we know he's asking
It's
in the
nuclear
name
testing.
of decency, don't pollute the air and preserve the right to breathe clean air. How like, think about it. This was in 62, and now we're in 2020, still with the same problem. I mean, for different reasons, I guess. But I also wanted to show this one really quick, which I thought was interesting.
I love that. I'm glad you shared that.
National Air and Space Museum has the original.
Oh, the original Enterprise.
The original model,
which I just want
to bring this up. I just want to bring this up so that you can have a moment of zen in the show, right? Let's all just take a moment to reflect. Here we go. Oh yeah, there's the money.
Oh man,
there we go.
There's the money.
Well, you know.
Now, can I just say, sure. I love that. I love that Enterprise, but I am partial to the refit, to the Constitution refit from it's actually the Taiho refit into a Constitution class from the Star Trek the Motion Picture, and then the ones you see in like 2, 3 and beyond. That Enterprise to me, and then not the refit, but then NCC 1701A, which is awesome, are my favorite Enterprises, even more than D or the original Constitution class. I love the Enterprises that were shown starting in the motion picture. Absolutely think it's badass.
No, I've loved all of them because I even though I've always been a Star Wars fanboy, I've always just lusted after the spaceships in Star Trek. So all of the ships have been awesome.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to talk about, we've talked about the fact that virtual events. This will be our last story of the day, but or 2 stories actually. Got 2 more stories for you folks.
Coming up on 30 minutes. We got to get to the lightning round.
Coming up on 30 minutes. I wanted to show just a brief. This is a 30-minute video in and of itself, but I wanted to talk about it for just 10 seconds here and say that Dragon Con, which is a huge nerd event that happens in Atlanta every Labor Day. It's a huge cosplay, just super nerd fest. And Micah Moore is one of the guys who always makes these excellent montage videos, and he created a 2020 video just as a just to get everybody kind of feeling like we were there, even though they only could have a virtual event with some panels and things online this year. And they also have they also usually have a parade down the streets of Atlanta with like over 100,000 people. So it is a big deal. And we're really, sad that we couldn't be there this year, but we hope that we can go back next year. So shout out to Legend of Micah on all of your socials.
Can I make a suggestion? If we do get a chance to go to Dragon Con, can we please go as Shatter, Steel, and the Squelch? Because I really think we should.
Well, here's the thing. If we need to start planning now, because it's like a 5-day event and you need a different costume every day. So the answer is yes, but we need to bring some other cool stuff too. Okay. So let's start getting our act together.
I like that.
But yeah, really cool stuff. So I wanted to switch over, and you have a personal story, I think. We wanted to show off. Let me put this on the screen really quick.
So this is my great uncle Gordon. This is my father's uncle, who was a Canadian football star and World War II bomber pilot who was shot down during World War II, ushered out of Europe using the French resistance, and laid over in Iceland, and then returned to Canada, somewhat safe and sound. He had been pretty badly injured. But take a look at this picture. So my brother and I have this theory that we should write a movie called Gordy. That was what they call it. You can see it in the upper left corner. That's what they called him. Does not look like that could be Tom Hardy or Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Now, can you show the other picture that I sent you? Because the other one's really cool. The other one shows Uncle Gordon in his cockpit, and you got what I really love is the
This one here.
that one there. Click through to that one.
Twitter is blocked.
Twitter.com is blocked.
Hang on, folks.
Whoa! What's happening with Twitter?
It looks like the internet? I think we may have broken the internet with this show. I don't know. Hang on. It's coming up. All righty. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. We got it right here.
There we go. So this is a picture of my Uncle Gordon, or my great Uncle Gordon, in his cockpit with his communications helmet on and everything. And take a look at the headline: August 22nd, 1942, top kicker out to boot Nazis around. He was a kicker in the Canadian Football League.
Badass,
I have put a request into the Archives of Canada to pull his military records. I'm doing my thing, Ryan. You know I'm good at that. In fact, it's out in the other room, but I've already got a binder full of articles and clues and tons of newspaper articles about his Canadian Football League and him getting sent and then later dying in the 70s of bone cancer. So I've got all of these articles put together and I've got all the clues, and then I'm going to write a story just like I did with the Lost Tacodians project. I'm going to tell the story of Gordy. And so
Dude,
my brother
you've got so many like film script projects that
I know.
I think you just need to get to work and start. You need to go on like a mountain retreat and just start writing, I think.
I know, dude. I need ample free time, Ryan.
That's not even counting our children's book series about NASA. I mean, good Lord, we have so many.
By the way, I meant to tell you, I actually previewed those poems that you and I want to use as the illustration for our Kennedy Space Center children's series. I actually previewed those to a Apollo expert, and he was blown away. He's like, dude, are you kidding me? He's like, these things would fly off the shelves. He's like, this is awesome.
Okay, we need to put an open call out for, I think, some animators, some designers to help. That's what we need help with, because I know enough.
I'm telling you, dude. I
think we have the vision, we have the manuscript. We really just need the art now.
And I'm telling you right now, it would not be hard for us to get those placed on a end cap book sale featured area in Kennedy Space Center. Look at it this way, Ryan. When our kids were younger and we were traveling, what do you need to do every single time before you go home?
Oh yeah.
You got to get a book and you got to get a toy or whatever, some sort of combination of those, right? And remember, not only is there Kennedy Space Center, but they have that space store at the Orlando airport.
Dude, I think I know who our artist is, and to do the merch for the book, 100 Soft.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's an interesting thought.
That is an interesting thought.
Look at that. We're developing ideas on the fly, live on the air, folks. All right, we're at 33 minutes, so we're going to do, I think we're going to do a wrap-up here.
Okay, so let's do a wrap-up. Anything from the lightning round? Anything left over that we wanted to go through real quick?
You know what? We pretty much killed it all. We hit the whole list almost. The only thing that we have left is if you wanted to close out with something about, I don't know what this story is, but it's something about death bots.
No, that we already.
We covered death bots. My bad. I didn't look at the link.
I'll tell you, the only thing we did miss, and I'm not going to get into it, is my rant of the week and how pissed off I am at Lowe's for screwing me over with a washer and dryer I had to install. And folks, if you want to read a harrowing story of first world problem stress, go to my Twitter account at Graeme Knows, and you'll see what happened with me on Friday and Lowe's. It's
all right. We're just going to close it out.
But I'm not going to get into it because we're happy.
We're gonna save those rants for later. We're gonna show you some more highlights from Dragon Cons from years past. There's your buddy Captain America.
Look at there he is.
I mean, this is there's some some speeder pilots. There's the Grouch.
Shatter, Steel, and the Squelch need to make their appearance. It would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Is that a Mario mariachi band? All right.
Of course.
Ryan, this has been a ton of fun, buddy. Great to see you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching Weeks In. We'll see you next Friday.
You sure will.
For another episode. Thanks for watching.
He was brave, Sir Robin. Sir Robin, brave Sir Robin.